So today I'm going to show you how to make 3 holiday hot drinks. I'm going to show you how to make an Indian chai, which is so yummy, and a mulled cranberry cider, which is very, very refreshing, and also a mint hot chocolate, which is going to be the richest hot chocolate you've ever tried. So let's get started with the first drink. First, you're going to need an untreated orange, and you want to use an organic orange for this because you're going to be using the peel. So I cut it in half, and then from one of the halves of the oranges I just cut bits of the peel off, which we're going to be putting in the mulled cranberry juice later. Now for the juice, I'm going to be using the Ocean Spray Cranberry Classic Light just because it has a little bit less sugar and I don't really need all that extra sugar. And I'm also going to be using some clear apple juice for this, just 100% real apple juice. So the ratio for this is 2 to 1, so you want to use 2 cups of cranberry juice and 1 cup of the apple juice so that the cranberry is overweighing a little bit the flavor of the apples because it is supposed to be a cranberry mulled drink. So I'm adding first the cranberry juice and then the apple juice. And then next I use the juice of the other half of that orange, just kind of mushing it up right into that pot with the juices. And I'm also going to be adding the rest of the peel that I cut up earlier. And then you want to add some mulling spices, so I added 1 whole stick of cinnamon. And I also used some star anise, so about 1.5 or however many you like. And I had some of these mulling spices in my cupboard, so I used some of those. You might be able to find those at Christmas time at the grocery store. There's lots of different spices already mixed in with this, so I just added a nice little handful of those mulling spices. If you can't find this, you don't really need it. Then you want to put the lid on your pot and set it to boil, so it should be simmering, and once it's really hot, just let it simmer for a while so that the flavors of the spices will really give it time to develop. After simmering for a while, you can just pour it into a large mug or a clear glass, as I've done here. And I garnished it with some fresh cranberries, and these ended up getting a little bit warm so you can actually eat them, and they're really yummy. And just a slice of orange will also garnish the drink, and then that's your first drink done. And it's really refreshing, and the spices just give it that special something. So let's move on to the Indian chai. So for this you're going to need whole milk, and you're also going to need some loose leaf tea. So I prefer to use Assam, which is an Indian variety, but you can use any kind of black loose leaf tea for this. And the thing about authentic Indian chai is that it's cooked in milk and water. So I poured out 1 whole cup of whole milk and mixed that in with 1 whole cup of fresh water. And then you can add the tea right away to that mixture. So go ahead and add your black tea. And then you also want to add the spices. So I added 1 whole stick of cinnamon again. And I also added some cardamom. If you have the whole cardamom, that is probably better. But I didn't have whole cardamom, so I just added some ground up cardamom. And also some cloves. If you have whole cloves, again, that would be better. I just had this available, so I just used some ground cloves and added a little bit of that. And you also want to add some black pepper. So this is actually a pepper spice mix, and it's just different kinds of pepper. So I added a few whole grains of that pepper. And also some chopped up ginger. You don't even have to bother peeling the ginger because you're going to be straining it out after. And then you can just stir all that up so it's nicely distributed. And then you want to start cooking up this tea. So you really want the loose leaf tea to develop all the flavors with the spices. So you can let it simmer for a while. And of course you can also add a little bit of sugar if you like. But now everything's cooking, and as you can see, the tea is starting to change the color of the milk, and that's what it should look like. And you can just let that simmer as long as you want for the spices to really develop. And once it's nice and cooked, you can just pour that into a large mug. This makes enough for about 2 cups or 1 really giant mug like this. And this flavors are just so incredible. Like, they're so exotic and just really, really yummy. So definitely try this out. And there you have your finished authentic Indian chai. So for the mint hot chocolate, you're going to first of all need some real chocolate, and I am using dark chocolate, but you can also use the milk chocolate. I personally like the darker one better because it's not quite as sweet. And then you want to go ahead and just chop that up into little slivers. So it should look about like this. Then on a medium heat, you want to add the chocolate slivers directly to a little pan, and this is going to help to melt the chocolate right away, so you don't want to have it on too high of a heat. And just to help that melt a little bit more evenly, I'm just adding a little splash of milk, and that's going to help it to melt so it's not all like chunky and stuff. So as you can see, with the heat of the pan, it's starting to melt really easily. And once it's all melted, you can go ahead and add the rest of the milk. So I added 2 cups of whole milk to this. And since the chocolate has already melted, it should be really easy now to mix it in with the rest of the milk. And I just let that heat up. And I'm also going to be adding a little bit of vanilla bean paste. If you don't have this, you can use a vanilla extract. And I added about, I don't know, half a teaspoon or so. And you also want to add the mint extract, but be really careful with this because if you add too much of this, it will taste like toothpaste. So I just added a few small drops of this. You can always add more if you like it very minty. And that's going to give that really delicious chocolate mint flavor to the hot chocolate. And then I just whisked that up until it was boiling. So it's gonna rise to the top, so it's nice and frothy, really nice and hot. And then I just poured that into my cup. And of course, garnished it with whipped cream, and the trick here is to layer it on the outside rim of the cup because that way it won't sink into the chocolate right away. And you can also garnish it with a candy cane. I don't have that here, so I just topped it with a little bit of cocoa powder and a little bit of cinnamon as well because I thought that would be really, really tasty. But yeah, fresh candy cane, stick it in, it would be perfect. And that is the end of this recipe. So I really hope you guys enjoyed all of these recipes. Try it out and let me know which one's your favorite. And make sure you're subscribed to my channel because I've got lots more Holidaze videos coming up. And thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.